house for you later, but you say you don't need that at all. This world is ours for the taking, just me and you got me thinking. I swear we already made it, 'cause no one's got what we got. We hit it up on rooftops, no matter what they say, we will do this our way. We ain't in it for the dollars, no, just for the thrill of it. Nothing counterfeit with you, just the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Nothing counterfeit with you, just the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Nothing counterfeit with you, just the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Nothing counterfeit with you, just the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it. Just for the thrill of it.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Blue Otter League Platinum Series here with a game between Cloud Team and ISU Emerald. Tonight, I'll be on the play-by-play side as Nyarko, and I'm here with Feedonomics doing some color casting. How are you feeling tonight?
I mean, I'm excited. I'm no longer like a small hopping tabby slime, as everyone can see, so I'm just ready to get some games out of the way and show everybody my pretty face. Hello, friends. Um, that being said, like I just want to get into picks and bans. Like I'm ready. Mid-season tournament happened. It was exciting, but I'm ready for like the regular season to happen again. What about you, Narco?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready for these games to pick back up. That mid-season tournament, obviously really exciting. We had some great upsets come through. Blue Esports Fire was a story that we specifically were following along with rapt interest towards, but it's always great to just come back to these games that really begin to matter as we go deeper and deeper here into this series. ISU Emerald sitting near the bottom of the standings right now in the Infernal section of the Platinum League, and they're going to be going up against Cloud Team, who have been doing pretty darn well for themselves so far. What do you think the outcome of this game will be?
I do think that Cloud Team will end up winning. I don't know about how many games it'll take to win. I think the rest of my matches have gone to 3 games, so I enjoy watching League of Legends matches, so 3 games would be cool. But if I were a betting man, which we know that I'm not, I'd say Cloud Team probably takes this one in 2. But I'm ready to be disappointed and wrong.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what the exact series layout will be like, but obviously we want it to be close, we want it to be competitive, and we want above all else for it to be fun here. Both teams are just loading up. We're about to get into the draft proper here. Bans will be coming through in just a few moments, but in this intervening time, are there any matchups that you are seeing in any of these lanes that you particularly want to watch out for, Feedonomics?
Since I've been playing a lot of top lately, Narco, then I kind of want to see good top lane matchups. I want to use it to propel me to get better and better. So I want to see the top laners duke it out and have a pretty solid game with one another. I don't know. And if one of them were to play a Fiora and show me how to play Fiora better, that would be really cool. Not sure if that's in anyone's champ pools, but Fiora's fun.
Yeah, I don't think I'm seeing a whole lot of Fiora. We're actually getting quite a few bruisers and kind of non-standard champions coming through, at least in Bleed and Feed and Small Broski's respective champ pools. Both are actually really big fans of Garen's. We see quite a few tanks sprinkled in there as well, Dr. Mundo, Ornn, champions like that. And meanwhile, Bleed and Feed does have a pretty solid Camille, it looks like, about 10 games played and ranked with a 60% win rate. That's a champion that's been kind of spiking up in that priority pool a little bit more recently. And we are seeing the first few bans come through now. That will be a Zeri knocked out, and right now ISU was hovering the Draven, but will in fact knock on a Kai'Sa ban.
Yeah, I mean Kai'Sa, pretty flexible pick. Zeri, just a very good pick in general right now. Maybe one of the best AD carries that you can have. Where I've been seeing Kai'Sa played more as like a flex between mid and ADC. Definitely with like the mage build she has going on right now. Makes her a threat. So they're smart bans, and the next 2 that came through were, we had a Trundle over on the side of Cloud Team, and then ISU G&E Emerald banning out Garen and Hecarim and Ashkan out on the side of Cloud Team. So looks like a respect ban in the form of Garen, and then just another really solid ban in the side of Hecarim. How do you feel about Ashkan and Trundle getting banned out, Narco?
I think that Trundle is a really solid ban right now, especially if you're expecting the enemy team to pick up some of these more meta junglers that we're seeing coming through. Obviously, Hecarim is one of those ones that actually has rough matchups into the Trundle, and we are seeing that banned away as well. But some of these other big threats in the current metagame really can't deal with the Troll's 1v1 dueling power, and things are going to continue to look pretty standard here as we get that Jinx pickup on Cloud Team's side first pull through. ISU Emerald, though, on the other hand, is going to go with the Xayah. Not necessarily something that is super commonly seen here, but this could indicate that we're going to be getting a Xayah Rakan duo bot lane. But there's also a lot of other options for this champion. She's able to avoid a lot of big playmaking ultimates, especially if they judiciously utilize their ultimate of themselves. Zac coming through, though, as a second choice for that side.
Yeah, I'm liking the Zac, also a really strong jungler, but Cloud Team securing the first pick Jinx makes a whole lot of sense. I would kind of argue that 1 and 2, maybe in not any specific order, would be Zeri and Jinx as far as the strongest ADCs right now. just resets are really strong, and the whole fact that Zeri can kite forever. It looks like you have Cloud Team actually solidifying their bot lane, so we're gonna have to see if they try to go for jungler this next pick, or if they try to pick up their top or mid laner. But I would think that you finish out and you try to counter pick for jungle right now.
Yeah, already a lot of really interesting grabs for this early phase of the pick and ban. The Alistar Jinx going to be going together into that bot lane, perhaps trying to foresee a Rakan grab for ISU Emerald, just because you're able to kind of headbutt Rakan out of their engage and just generally isolate that champion without allowing for him to jump back with the shield into the Xayah. Lee Sin going to be the last grab, solidifying what we've been seeing pretty frequently here with the bot lane plus jungle pick early on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, technically, you could flex Lee Sin to like any lane you wanted to for the most part at this point. He could go mid or he could go top. But I kind of agree with you. I think that that's just kind of finishing out the jungler.
Oh, and hello there. There is a Sona picked up by ISU Emerald. This is something I'm actually really excited to see. Maximum is a huge fan of this champion, has been spamming it and going on a 9-game win streak so far in solo queue. This is one of my darlings. I know that she's kind of boring to people, but I have so much fun playing her. And if we get the DJ Sona skin, it'll just make my heart happy. We're now going through into the second phase of bannings here. We'll see what comes out. It looks like that Anivia will be knocked out of the pool by ISU Emerald. What do you think so far about what we're going to see in this next phase of picks?
Well, obviously, we're not going to see a power couple on the side of ISU Emerald because
You're getting him for con mid.
I mean, okay. All right, why don't you calm down there? Not everybody plays Talia like as a support.
Okay, rude, but
I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know. I'm being honest. So like leave these super off meta picks elsewhere. I was kind of a big fan of them for a long time too. I was jungling Brand before it was cool, and I was never good at it. But I mean, you know, banning out mid laners. Actually, a lot of mid laners banned out with those last 4 bans, and Darius. So we'll have to see if one of these teams tries to lock in the Ornn. Like you were saying earlier, Corki is a very strong pick. I do like that on the side of Emerald. And it's not your Rakan, though.
Yeah, unfortunate. A lot of options still open for both teams and how they want to play out this top lane, especially because, as you were saying right there, Feedonomics, we aren't really getting much of a pinching of the pool there. And the ones that are removed are champions that I'm not too torn up about seeing banned. I mean, I understand that both players have a predilection towards champions like Darius and like Garen, but they just don't form a really strong cohesive team comp here in coordinated play. So that Ornn grab, really nice. I like what Cloud Team is currently going for, a very actionable game plan with great engage to start the fights off, and you of course have that Jinx and that Akali to put down a ton of damage.
So what do you want to see on the side of Emerald for this last one? I personally would like to see like Set, or you know, I'll take a run back at my Urgot. It wasn't the best whenever it was picked the last time we were spectating matches.
Yeah, I think a Camille would be good here. You already have the tankiness in the exact, so you have a little bit more freedom with what you're going to go for. And oh, I call it, baby. This is going to be a good night.
Look at that. We're doing great calling the top lanes. We got the Ornn, we got the Camille. I really appreciate it. Looking at the team comps, I don't know whose I like more right now. I think that as far as like a team comp, like team fighty is concerned, that I kind of like Emeralds more than I like Cloud Team. But if you start assassinating people with Kali, or you get 1 or 2 resets with Jinx, then there's not going to be too much of a fight after that, I think.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that there is a little bit more coherent of a game plan coming through for Cloud Team here. They have a lot of really solid pick potential, and an Insect from Lee Sin or Headbutt Pulverize from Alistar can isolate one of the more squishy champions from the side of ISU, and in turn that could get the avalanche started with Jinx getting excited and just kind of running around and picking off the rest of the squishies. At the same time, you have a lot of really good engage potential from ISU Emerald that Corky will be able to just kind of package in and cause a lot of discord during fights, and similarly, Zach slingshotting over wall is always have to watch out for. But what I'm kind of worried about here for ISU is just getting kind of split in their fight. We could be seeing Corky and Zach rushing forward, and meanwhile, Hextech Ultimatum comes out for the top laner, but if it is the case that Zaya and Sonar are kind of left behind to fend for themselves, we could easily see Akali go for a flank and just assassinate this backline before Zach is able to kind of return to protect their carries. So it's a little bit harder to execute on the side of Emerald, but at the same time, these are clearly some comfort picks coming through. So perhaps this is something that they've rehearsed before, and we may really actually see them kind of work coherently and cohesively to bring forth a victory.
Yeah, and you also have to think though, like, Jinx wants to get reset. She wants to pop off to where she's able to run around like crazy. But do you know what's gonna stop that from happening? Is Hextech Ultimatum. Is getting stuck in the box, having Corky dive on top of you after that with the package, or just Valkyrie in general, right? So they're also gonna have to do their own sort of backline peeling, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do that just in the same fashion that Emerald would be able to fall back and help their people out either. I guess at the end of the day, Alistar is not as squishy as Sona though. So, if he sits back to peel, then maybe you have less of an issue. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing how I think these fights are going to play out.
There's definitely a little bit of modularity for how Cloud Team wants to engage, so perhaps we will be seeing either the Ornn or Alistar to stay back to absorb the damage and prevent the Jinx from really be taken out here. So I definitely get what you're saying here, Feedonomics, but there's just so much variance in how these teams can really enact their game plans. There's also a question of to what extent are we actually going to even see the Camille show up for fights versus just try to go for a split push plan. Obviously, Ornn isn't able to take towers quite as well as that champion, and he'll be looking to dictate the pace of bigger grouped engages with that Call of the Forge God. So there's a lot of things to think about here for both sides, and I'm sure as we move deeper on into this game, we'll start to see what exactly coalesces in terms of a game plan.
Yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm excited to watch the game pan out. At this point, I'm ready to cast League of Legends like I always am. It's never a bad day whenever Narco and Feedonomics get to cast games. Really quick, because this is the fun time that I like to have. Who's getting first blood? The interactive game.
I don't think either side is able to go for an invade. Perhaps you could cheese something with the Zac, but I really doubt that anything will come through. So with that in mind, I think that the closest thing we will get to first blood will probably come through from the bot side of the map. I think that Inho is taken on Alistar will go for a flash headbutt to knock Sona back into the Jinx here, and maybe even kind of work with an early push started by ISU Emerald to knock someone under tower and really get a big play going that way.
I like that. I'm going to argue against you, though, and I'm going to say it's going to happen mid. Both of the mid laners are very squishy, and both of those junglers can help out quite a whole lot in, I suppose, securing a kill. So I will give it to the side of Cloud and say Lee Sin and Akali get first blood on Corky.
Ooh, that's a cool call. Yeah,
definitive answer.
I see it happening. Okay, cool. Yeah. I guess we will have to see who comes out victorious in this arbitrarily assigned point system game that we have played for several games now, Feedonomics. But for the time being, as we wait out the spectator delay, we are going to throw it to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Blue Otter League here in the Platinum Series. We are sitting in Game 1 between ISU Emerald and Cloud Team. Cloud Team taking that blue side, and it looks like everyone's just going to go for a nice, relaxing 5-point to start us off here in this best of 3. Feedonomics, what do you think we're going to be seeing out of these first few minutes?
Warding and CSing.
Ooh, yes, fun.
All right, let's see if we might get a little bit of aggression right here.
Yeah, fried
They're
butter
thinking about it.
maybe in range. Yeah, in range of the headbutt, but that ward, yeah, not going to lead to anything. Small broski just going to kind of stand on that befuddled for a few seconds before rotating back. It looks like for the time being, Lee Sin pinging that bot side will be starting there. Maybe mirroring Zach.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to be a traditional start for both junglers. So you have Zach switching over to Oracle's Lens. Like, you could get away with that with Lee Sin, but you don't want to. You want your free ward hop button. So it makes sense that Lee is going to hold on to his ward for now. He wants to pull off a sick W play later.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, look at that, Corhulans mid.
One favorable trade and
Just
this
like
avalanche
that.
begins, baby. The classic, yeah. One thing I do want to note here is that we are getting mostly standard runes, but one of the pickups I'm really excited to see is Phase Rush on Inha was Taken's Alistar. That is something that we oftentimes see into these squishier enchanter type champions, just because you don't need as much tankiness, and that speed will just kind of allow you to better stick to both the Zaya and the Sona, and hopefully get off an E stun of your own so that Jinx can follow up. Maximum getting some solid Q poke damage down, though, onto the Jinx for the time being. But this lane looks like it's shaping up to about what we expected here.
Just a kind of a wet noodle fight for now. It'll change. Yeah. It'll change. Like Narco, this bottom lane will become a bloodbath before too long.
You know, I've had so many bloodbaths to cast recently. Sometimes I just kind of wish we would get something a little bit more relaxing. Even in the Masters Plus games that I've been working with recently, people just want to fight. I don't know what's going on right now. Something's definitely in the air here around the mid-season for a lot of these leagues, and then Blue Otter League has been no different recently.
Blood for the blood gods, man.
Blood for the blood gods.
That's basically it. It's just a Warcraft kind of day. Oh, all right, cool. I was so worried he wasn't going to get that cannon. But you have Bleeding Feed going off with some aggression there.
Yeah, and Fried Butter going to slingshot himself in, and that will be Ornn on fire, trying to get away. Not important to come across from the backside to try to make sure that his top laner stays alive. And he seems pretty darn successful at doing so.
I don't know, here it comes.
And they're going to hop over the wall right now. Zerzal also in the area, rotating up. Small Broski can headbutt his way back out there under the tier 2
This is
now.
bad.
Bungie maybe a little bit too deep. Now Fried Butter in trouble. That's passive procced, and Exhaust will be dropped in turn by Zerzal. So far, things seem to be at a bit of a stalemate right now, but Small Broski a little bit too far forward, and the Angry Showerhead gonna whittle him down. First blood going over to the Corki. That was way too over-aggressive. I don't think that Zach was in a whole lot of trouble there, and really trying to force that fight and pick up first blood means that, in fact, ISU Emerald will be the ones grabbing it.
There you go. I mean, can I at least get like a quarter of a point? It was mid lane.
Theoretically, yeah. We'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it. Oh, that is EB rode in. Yeah, a little bit of a Valkyrie away, Zerzal on basically no mana, so it's going to be hard to try to fight that one. They're going to take their money and run as it were, hopping back with this recall. Meanwhile, bot side, things are peaceful, as it always is for this kind of lane so far.
No, that's how bot lanes work right now, but like, here you go again. You got Broski in the top lane.
Yeah, getting just jumped on by Bleeding Feed. Not important in the area, though. Looking to turn this one around.
Oh, no.
Broski going to headbutt forward, and that will be the Sonic Wave rode in. It's actually going to whip and fly off into the bush, but I don't think it matters. The Caitlyn's in way too much trouble here, and while things look dicey for a moment, Old Scissor Legs will go down. It is 1-1 here.
Caitlyn Scissor Legs, huh?
Old Scissor Legs. It's like Edward Scissorhands, but somehow more existentially terrifying.
No, I feel it. I was worried for the side of Cloud there. That was a lot of minions kind of just going to town on both the jungler and the top laner. So that got a little bit iffy there for a moment. A couple of really scuffed movements on both sides. Had
Yeah, we
hook
see
shot
some
and everything.
pings coming out as Sona's going to rotate over to
Oh.
Zach to help grab that Scuttle Crab. We do have the Blob bot side, but he will be spotted out on a ward. Going to have to clear that one right up. And we see the solid ward placement from Leon and Inha was taken, getting one over the wall just so Elastic Slingshot won't catch them off guard here. But
Yeah.
as I said before, things are relatively peaceful. The gold stays even. The question will be, who will make the move onto the dragon? Akali had to back, which will allow for Zerzal to get a little bit of priority here over this mid lane, having grabbed it back earlier on. And this may allow for the rotation of ISU Emerald once Fried Butter gets his own buy-in. Bungie, meanwhile, rotating to the top side, bleeding feet in a little bit of trouble, but going to be able to get under tower in time. Bungie going to ride
What are
down.
you doing?
The Ignite coming out, they're going to have to go into their Shroud, and that is a lot of damage down onto the Camille, and I don't know how this Akali is getting away, but they are, it seems. Oh, there's the hook shot over the wall, forcing the flash out of Akali, yeah. I don't think they should have even had to use that flash, though, you know what I mean? I feel like this was all a little bit too aggressive.
I expect that sort of play from Lee Sin. I do not expect that sort of play from Akali, right? That was equivalent of my mind's telling me no, but my body.
My body is telling me yes. Yeah.
Exactly what happened right there.
But my thing is, that entire rotation from Bungie also just kind of freed up priority in that mid lane, and in turn allowed for Zerzal to go down and grab ISU Emerald, that dragon there, which means in turn, this is a little bit more gold going over to their side, although ultimately, Cloud Team will still be ahead. There's the flash pulverize into the mid lane. Zerzal in a little bit of trouble as the Ignite comes down, and that will be stun landed as well. Not important, gonna grab that one, and while turret shots are abound, none of them will take down any members of Cloud Team here.
Was a really good set of combos for everybody involved in that little kerfuffle. But you know, Bungie not even having to do anything there. Like, that's got to be nice, right? Is whenever you're just hanging out and chilling, and then like your team just comes over and rolls your mid laner. You're like, all right, I can keep farming, no big deal. Not a problem at all.
No, I definitely agree. Inha was taken really kind of abusing this weaker matchup bot lane where Sona doesn't have much kill pressure in order to go for these full movement speed roams. We're going to be seeing a lot more of that hopefully coming through after we see this bot lane catch the wave here. Meanwhile, Zerzal in a rough spot, totally pushed in by Bungie in the mid here. We do have Zach rotating into the bot side river.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely not going to get spotted this time because of the pink ward in the brush, but not much to do right now. I would have really liked to have seen him like sneak into like their brush around the alcove. But just decided to move up. Maybe has a play on mid, but it looks like he was spotted out in a ping.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a lull state for the time being. We are seeing Inha was taken and Leon push this wave back to about parity here, so there's a little bit more of an opening for either team to try to go for a plate. Inha was taken, getting rooted pretty hard by that Xayah E, though. That's definitely something to watch out for. You are very much at the range disadvantage right now. Meanwhile, Bella's Breath coming out from Small Broski to try to get some damage back down onto Bleed and Feed. Both of these players are on Grasp of the Undying. We've got some drama here as we see not important jump onto Fried Butter. Smite coming out, and we see Zerzal Valkyrie forward to start dropping the bombs down. Lee Sin in quite a bit of trouble as Call of the Forge God is going to come up to try to peel away some of these champions. Hextech ultimatum in turn going to be answered, but the shutdown will go over. Camille going to grab that one, but now Bungie is coming through. That will be Zach passive proc. Now Bleed and Feed is going low, but Bungie trying to kite this one out, realizing that Fried Butter is going to come back into the area. Ultimately a 2-for-1 in favor of ISU Emerald.
Yeah, maybe if that Super Mega Death Rocket would have been fired a little bit earlier, but who's to tell if they were actually 6 at the time or not? I was not paying that much attention.
Yeah, there's too much drama up top. I wouldn't just not looking at that. I would imagine that they had 6 already, though. It just became a matter of trying to see how that fight was going to play out and see if it was even worth to fire the rocket up.
Yeah, but if we would have had the nuance to fire the rocket, easy triple kill for Bungie. If not, Jinx grabbing one of them.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult call to work out for, and this is the Platinum League. Everyone's still kind of feeling out their mechanics and team play, but I'm impressed with what we're seeing so far, Feedonomics.
Yeah, no, it's not as much of a bloodbath. Well, I don't know. It's 10 minutes in and there are already 6 kills.
That is nothing. That is nothing. Are you watching LCK? Like,
It's completely fair.
is that your standard? If your standard's LCK, I think we're doing pretty darn well for ourselves. Like, I've seen at least more than a kill a minute on average in the vast majority of the games recently. This is, for all intents and purposes, relatively restrained, I think, from both sides here. We'll see if any more drama is going to come through, as we do have Rift Herald up and a second dragon on the horizon.
Yeah, and the important thing about that second dragon is I'm pretty sure that it's timed well enough to where Corki is going to be able to use their package on that fight.
Yeah, definitely something to watch out for. All right, that coming through, but the Pulverize will not. And in turn, what's taken is going to get rooted, and Sona ulted in turn, barely able to run behind their ADC, as not important to jump forward and try to get a kill. The ultimate in turn is going to lead to yet another root, and not important will fall to Soprich. Great play, great kiting, and overall incredible tempo for the side of ISU Emerald.
Really well-timed flash to like sit there and say, no, you're not going to ward hop behind me. We're not playing this game.
Yeah, and this is going to be Dragon number 2 off the back of that.
Most likely. We'll see. We're not quite positioned to take Dragon at the moment if we're on the side of ISU Emerald.
Yeah, we do see Fried Butter kind of booking it over, though. That's
but it's already too late. Like, Lee is back up. There's potential for it to get stolen. Speaking of stolen, some of Small Broski's HP getting borrowed by Bleeding Feet there.
That was a good transition if I ever did see one. But my call about Dragon seems to be holding steady for the time being. It will go over to the Zac on the side of ISU Emerald. Lee Sin was booking it bot side, but is ultimately going to just settle for that red buff of their own. But we may see a meeting of the Titans down here yet again. That is Zac waiting in the wings, and Zerzal is going to follow. Not important, rotating around, sees the whole group. And was taken, gonna go in now. That is Elastic Slingshot, though, onto the Lee Sin, who will be insect back into the rest of the team. Fried Butter really far forward here, but Zerzal is here to back them up, and that will be one falling here, as Zerzal will take down Not Important. And now we see a little bit of trouble as Jinx is the last one left alive. Inha was taken, also falling here, and Leon is trying to get back towards tower, but is going so low. Is making it, though, in turn, and Zac doesn't have the passive to try to go for the dive. Somehow the Jinx gets out of that one.
Narca.
What's up?
I thought you said the Cloud team was the pick comp. What is happening right now?
We are seeing a lot of really solid collapses from ISU Emerald, that's what. And I think that, honestly, perhaps going for such a pick-oriented composition has kind of backfired for Cloud Team here. That is a lot of damage traded onto Small Broski tops. I will see if Bleeding Feed will go for the dive here. He's going to stand behind tower. That is headbutt accepted. And Hextech Ultimatum plus Ignite will do it. The Ram is gone. That will be Super Mega Death Rocket into the area. Not important. Maybe trying to go for the trade back, but he is 2 levels down without his flash. I think Kyo's going to be able to get back out of that one. Bungie riding that E right back into certain doom. Things really all coming up ISU Emerald right now.
This is just like, it's starting to become unhinged if you're on the side of Cloud. Like, just a couple of follies and bad plays into more bad plays. Like, if you're a Kali, you're out there. You don't need to take that back.
100%, I agree. I think maybe they thought they had the burst damage. Like, Corki is notoriously a weaker champion early on, but this is currently a 4-2 Corki now, baby. They got that Man Immune built. They have Hex Drinker as well. They're able to withstand some of that burst.
Yeah, it's looking at it. You've got kills on the characters that you want kills on, right? Your mid laner has 4. Your bot laner and your top laner both have 2. You're looking really pretty. Also, Xayah farming fairly well. Not quite as good as Jinx is right now, but like the 2 kills definitely helps. We have our Kraken Slayer finished. Corki shouldn't be too much further off of finishing their cult. Just a couple of waves away.
Yeah, 100%. Maximum Soprich rotating over towards the mid lane. We have Lee Sin waiting there bot side. And meanwhile, on top, Small Broski yet again getting trading on pretty heavily, but I think for the time being, you're just going to play it safe under that tower now, especially as bot side. That's where the progress is happening. Bungie trying to get in onto the Corki. That's going to be Hex Tech Rocket Belt going forward, but a lot of turret shots are going to deter further engagement from the Akali. Meanwhile, Inha was taken coming up to try to stop Bleeding Feed from taking down Small Broski yet again.
Oh, the Alistar!
Yeah, that's the shutdown coming through that you were looking for. Super Mega Death Rocket expended as well, but a little bit too late. That is still a kill grabbed by the side of Cloud Team, but it will go over to their support.
Yeah, I mean, Cal showing up, right place, right time, right? Just jumping through and pulling off the headbutt to save the day.
Yeah.
So, with the flash, do you think that Orange survives anyways?
If you mean regardless of if Inha was taken came up?
Yeah, I mean, you also had Lee Sin rolling up, right?
Ooh, that's a tough one. He was on just a tiny sliver.
I
of health.
know.
I think Bleeding Feet probably would have had it. We see
I don't know,
them
you had
navigate
the
situations
safeguard
pretty
come
well.
through.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We can definitely ask for them to replay that situation topside. I'm sure Small Broski would be so excited for that to happen.
Yeah, no, we'll ask for the run back. Like, we'll ask for the run back during like pre-selections next game. Like, it'll be perfect. They'll listen, I'm sure.
I'm sure that
We have so much pull in these circumstances here.
Oh,
Narco.
100%. Them satisfying our curiosity is going to weigh so much more heavily than competitive integrity or desire to win or broadly the interests of the organizations that they're in. I could go on, you know. Bleeding Feet getting a good crash of minions here on the top side. That probably will be a second turret picked up. Well, no, a third turret, in fact, picked up for the side of ISU Emerald here. They definitely still do have the advantage. We're also seeing quite the gold gap come through, and a third dragon will be spawning with a big push by the red team to try to get priority over this river. Small Brewski in the area, though.
Oh,
They
the
might be
TP's
looking
coming
for
in.
the engage. Yeah, there's the TP. Camille will be here for this fight. Bungie waiting in the wings, trying to find a way through that pit in, but it looks like Not Important is getting quite heavily zoned out by Zerzal. Fried Butter gonna work as that front line for ISU Emerald here. Small Broski does have to call the Forge God. That will be one of the big engages we're looking for here as the Dragon has started up, but it looks like ISU Emerald's going to kite this one away. Things are still standing at a little bit of a stalemate right now. A lot of clustering from both sides. If something hits that could spell the game, or at least this single drag, we do get the back from Corki at the end of the day, though. And so
Yeah,
for the
but
time
he's
being, it
coming
looks
back
like...
with the package.
Yeah, that's true. It'll be a question of whether or not Cloud Team will even be there, though. They're going to rotate towards mid.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens. Right now, are they rushing it? No. They're gonna also posture and look for a fight mid lane. Like, cause why not? You are up 4 kills.
There's a slingshot coming in, and the
Good
knockback
stun.
being utilized as well. Sona in the backline gonna get a good ultimate down. Small Broski's gonna be taken out, and soon to follow after that is
Yeah.
the majority, if not all, of Cloud Team.
Thanks.
Huge pickup by ISU Emerald. That is a defining fight right there for this game.
And that's exactly what I was talking about, right? Like you had Fried Butter jump onto the backline technically and CC Alistar, and then following up Bleeding Feed just kind of drop the Hex Tech ultimatum on Jinx, and where do you go? Where do you go from there?
You go back to the Nexus, apparently. Things
you
were
just-
looking pretty rough.
Expedited recalls is what we call those in the business.
Yeah, we're moving to that time where it's definitely not worth it to die just for the recall, though. 19 minutes into the game now. Those death timers allow for both a third dragon to get picked up alongside an attempt at this Rift Herald for ISU Emerald.
Yeah, and just super detrimental fight. The gold lead is looking really rough now. Not to mention, Narco, like objectives. The silent killer this game. You have nothing on the side of Cloud, and you have everything on the side of ISU.
Oh, yeah. 3 dragons at 19 minutes is really the dream, especially for a team like this one where you're looking to get all the boosts possible to get champions like the Corki and Sona fully scaled up. ISU Emerald are really churning and burning through this one, and they're going to look to grab an early soul.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm not sure if the package will be up for that last fight. But I mean, if I'm Bleeding Feed or even Fried Butter, I'm happy if I get an Ocean Soul.
Small Broski a little bit caught out here, going to try to flash away, but the angry Showerhead is really whittling him down as Fried Butter will get one of his tendrils onto him, and the smite will slow him enough for Zerzal to land the coup de grace here.
Oh.
Meanwhile, though, we will get a re-engage. Inha was taken, is going to go down as well. That bull will be fooled, but they will at least get one picked up here as Zerzal will get revenge killed. Leon and Bungie maybe looking for a little bit more, but Maximum going to come into the area and just help that champion kite their way out of that.
You lose a bounty, but you get a bottom tower, so it's not quite a one-for-one push, but it's definitely better after this.
That Hextech ultimatum over the wall is going to mean Bleeding Feed will pick up yet another one, and now they're in the base
my
here,
goodness.
and the fight's just going to continue. Not important, taking quite a bit of damage with the Blast Plant, allowing for Soprich and Maximum to ride their way over, but that, I think, is a little bit too deep for the Camille, and now Fried Butter's also in quite a bit of trouble here. Call of the Forge God going to miss, and that will be Elastic Slingshot.
Wow, no way.
Make the escape of the lifetime there.
Walking out by the hair of his teeny chin, you know, because the
Zach
health.
has a big chin. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, not when he has no health.
I guess that's true.
He's teensy.
Yeah, I don't know how he made it out there.
It was the model. The model shrunk so much. That's what it was.
All right, I get what you're saying. Yeah. So, yeah, I understand the drive to re-engage, and while you do pick up some pretty valuable kills on the side of Cloud Team, ISU Emerald are just steamrolling kills into objectives at a rate that you really cannot match here. With that base almost cracked open, that bot side tower looking really scary, things are going to be an uphill struggle for sure in order for Cloud Team to get back into this one.
Yeah, and, you know, it also doesn't help when you're almost 10,000 gold done.
Yeah, that comes with the territory of just kind of getting rolled in terms of the tower count, 0 to 5 right now, in favor of ISU Emerald, and I think they want to go for this Baron now. You see them getting a lot of priority over this river, but the question is, will this translate into a whole lot? We do have Camille this whole time, though, pushing that bot side. Bleeding Feet, a real monster in their own right.
Yeah, no, the damage from Bleeding Feet is getting up there, and right now I think the most important part of ISU's plan and why it's executing so well is where are you supposed to be able to split push so that you can get any of these objectives into your favor?
Bungie pretty far in here against Soprich Maximum and Fried Butter, who will slingshot their way in, and that will be a Sona ultimate. Bungie using that trap to try to get out of it, and it looked like he will. Meanwhile, Bleeding Feet really mobbed here on the bottom side, going to use that Hextech ultimatum to dodge out of the way of Call of the Forge God, but that fancy play will not be enough to resist these 4 players as we see ISU Emerald rotate up towards this Baron.
Yeah, and we'll see him kind of execute this like, oh, there's the Super Mega Death Rocket.
Super Mega, it's gonna be solid! Cloud Team!
There you go, there's your objective.
Yeah, the fight, will the fight continue? I don't think so. I think that they got basically what they came here for. That could really turn around the momentum of this one as we see Pink come out. It looks like both teams are going to try to rotate over towards the Dragon here, but these waves will begin to push in favor of Cloud Team now. They're going to have to try to get as many towers off of this as possible to try to stabilize the gold imbalance.
You're also right there. Small Broski just needs to hit like a small wolf. Right, and then you can get Jinx her forge weapon.
That's
like
definitely true, yeah.
Or whoever you want. Regardless,
Yeah.
Ornn is almost level 13. I want to give forge weapons to the other team apparently, which is incorrect. But
Not
here comes
important,
the
going to ward jump over the wall. Zap coming through, but that will not be the steal. Big knock-up, but that will be a deadly sin. And Soul grabbed for the side of ISU Emerald. They were incensed, Feedonomics. They were incensed after they lost that Baron push that could have won them the game. So they're going to pick up Soul and try to make do with that buff.
Could you imagine, like, just losing that jungle or the dragon right there to Lee Sin walking out of a warded bush and just hitting smite? Like,
I mean, after losing Baron, that was a nightmare scenario. Oh, Call of the Forge God over the wall alongside Inhelma taken in the area. Xayah gonna have to go incorporeal there for a second with that ultimate, but will be shut down by the Jinx, and now she's gotten started. Gale forcing forward, getting a lot of damage down onto Maximum, and Buggin will clear that one up. But Freshmaner in the backside now. Zer's all trying to get damage down where they can, but Bleed and Feed is a monster. A double kill is not going to be enough here, as Caitlyn will trade. Camille will trade one back in turn. A triple kill, in fact, and that is disastrous once again for Cloud Team. Not really able to use that Baron buff for much, and now they are attacked at their base, Feednomics.
Yeah, and there's no forge item right now. You have your Ice Forge Gauntlet, you have Rhyme Forge Grasp, but you didn't get a chance to use your passive on any of your teammates, which I think just doesn't do you any favors when you're trying to crawl back in, right? Like, I would have enjoyed just playing a little bit passively for 2 more seconds, so that you could have smacked your passive button a couple of times and gotten at least. I mean, it has to go on Jinx, right? Jinx is who you want to get that to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if the Jinx gets going, as we just saw in that last little team fight there, you really can put the hurt down onto ISU Emerald and hopefully start to close this gap up. But that gold is just so much to try to get around. And as soon as you get the engage from the Camille, Bleed and Feed's just able to do a whole lot to disrupt your team's game plan. And I apologize for keep calling that champion Caitlyn, but they're like both British. They're both from Piltover and Zon. What can I do, really?
I was just wondering when it was gonna happen. Like, I was just waiting. I had a little Caitlyn tracker.
It's so hard. Like, why do they have to like start with very similar names for both of the champions with such similar typologies?
Don't worry, I called Kaisa Kasai forever when she first came out.
Kasai.
Yeah.
I guess we won't talk about the fact that you say Akshan is Ashkan, but you know, that's a talk for a different time.
Yeah. I just pick a champion and just pronounce their name wrong every time.
Yeah, Bleed and Feed, leading the charge up here on the top side. They're looking to take this last tier 2 down. That will be Sona Ultimate coming in, and that's a bunch of dancing champions. But Fried Butter jumping in, not able to a whole lot done. Super Mega Death Rocket coming out in turn, but that damage will easily get healed up by this Sona, who truly is beginning to pop off now with that Moonstone Renewer in hand.
Am I crazy?
This is all. What's up?
It's Broski. Like, upgrade someone's item.
Yeah, they're definitely at that point. They upgraded their own Frostfire Gauntlet.
I think that happens automatically.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Yeah, in that case, yeah, you really got to drop it on the Gale Force here. Maybe they're just a little bit of gold off from being able to do so. Their CS is definitely not as good as the Camille's.
Narco, it's a passive. You don't have to spend any money.
I don't know how this works. You're the color caster.
I'm trying to help. I'm walking you through this.
Yeah, but okay. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's about 28 minutes in, and that Jinx is still not on whatever you call that upgraded Gale Force. Once again, you got to help me here, Feedonomics.
The big Gale Force gun.
Gale Force.
That's the scientific name.
The Hail Force.
Yeah, sure.
Hail Force.
No, that's a metal band.
Oh, it's called the Typhoon. There we go. It's finally going to go over Small Broski getting the chance in order to do so and enlightening us while it's at it.
Maybe I'm just wrong and you have to be 14 before you can do it. Like, because 13 is yours. But I don't know. Chat, set me straight.
We are going to get fired.
I mean, like, it won't be the first time. It happens, man. All right, here we go.
Getting this topside tower knocked
nothing
over.
You can do if you're
Broski
Ornn.
Getting the knock up, but yeah, I think Bleeding Feet is just way too strong here. Ornn is luckily able to kind of just sit up there and tank the damage and hopefully hope for a rotation from the rest of their team. That will be Sonic Wave rode in, but the hookshot coming through from Bleed and Feed will just take the Caitlyn right out of there.
All right, chat's helping me out, and they think that you need 14, and you know, I'm not against that. I'm not against that. Maybe Small Broski, if that's the case, I'm sorry that I ever doubted you. Like, I'm happy that Jinx has the Typhoon now. That's big. That's big.
They're building as fast as they can, Captain, as we see a huge rotation from ISU Emerald here into this river. Things have definitely been in a lull state, which is why our casting has just fully devolved, but I think the action is going to pick back up here pretty soon, as really ISU Emerald just need one more push to crack open that base, and if an ace is on the horizon, they will grab this game number 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think if they win the next fight, they should probably just walk away with it. But we'll see what happens here in a minute. We do have Elder Drake popping up here soon.
22 seconds, 19 seconds now, in fact. We see Not Important rotating around that far side. They really need to get into River here for Cloud Team in order to get some vision established. For the time being, they're going to be walking in blind both top and bot side of the river here. Elder Dragon is spawning up, though, right now. And this will be the fated confrontation. Small Broski standing here in the choke point, ready to face the rest of the team head on. Meanwhile, Bungie and Not Important maybe looking for a way over the wall. Inha was taken, does have that flash to help with an engage as well. That dragon will get started up by Bleed and Feed, Zerzal, Soprich, and Maximum here sitting
have the
further
package
back.
again.
Yeah, that could be a defining factor here, and everyone is going to have to bunch up to try to get as much damage down onto this dragon as possible. This is the engage opportunity coming through here. Not Important waiting in the wings as the dragon's going to move itself back into the pit here. That's called the full track coming through. Red team gonna pick up that dragon though, and things are looking pretty rough rise for Cloud Team now. That will be one down as Not Important will be taken out by Soprich, and Zerzal will be able to kill Bungie as well. Inha was taken, trying to run back and help peel Fried Butter away from their carries, but Ornn is taken out, and that will be Zach passive proc. Maximum is in fact going to be one picking up the kill against their fellow support here. And with everyone but the Jinx dead, this will be the base falling for the side of Cloud Team. ISU Emerald stampeding in and taking a decisive game 1.
Yeah, just posturing for too long around the Elder Dragon as it was being taken. I would have liked opening with Forge God before you had the chance to even lose that dragon to the smite from Zach. To give Lee Sin a chance to steal. Regardless, it's moot. We have ISU Emerald taking game 1.
Yeah, really solid play. I think we're all losing points here today, as I think we were both kind of predicting that Cloud Team victory, but ISU Emerald really showing out here. They demonstrate how to enact their game plan. Nobody got separated from one another. We got great engages from Fried Butter. Maximum perfectly positioned that entire time. Them and Soprich only dying once that whole darn game, and Zerzal got some kills early and really just snowballed that into a huge victory for their team.
Yeah, that was a really weird jungle fight that you had Cloud kind of overcommit on in the very beginning. Like, and I mean, I kind of see why you were trying for it, right? But back off after you get the Zac passive. Just sort of try to reset and get something in the next couple of minutes before it comes back up, as opposed to, I guess, wasting everything on it there, just to end up getting murdered by the counter collapse.
Yeah,
right. Like that first blood, I feel like was really huge and just did not help them out for the rest of the way. Who do you think player of the game was, though?
Player of the game, I think I got to give it over to Fried Butter. They played that Zac to perfection, and they played it right on the razor's edge as well. So many times we thought that they were going to die, but the blob just kept on ticking, used their passive whenever possible in order to get solid fights started for their team, and in turn really allowed for the carries to drive that victory home for ISU Emerald. All right, everyone, we're going to take it to a quick break, and when we come back, we will be in the midst of the draft here for game number 2 between Cloud Team and ISU Emerald.
Don't go anywhere. Stick around.
How it's supposed to feel.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact. Taking big swings, hand me the bat. Put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag. Cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real. But how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hello friends and welcome back to the Blue Otter League Platinum Series here in the Infernal Division with a game between ISU Emerald and Cloud Team. This is round 2. We saw ISU Emerald pick up a pretty stunning game 1, really coming out of left field with a little bit of an interesting draft, but they pulled through and grabbed a really solid start to this series. Feedonomics, what do you think we're going to be seeing as adjustments this time around?
Maybe not so much aggression early game from the side of Cloud Team.
That'd be nice.
Would be my guess. Like I was discussing sort of at the end of that last one, I think it was just the downfall was that early first blood from overcommitting. Like, you were safe. Just walk away. Sometimes it's okay to walk away, Narco.
Sometimes it is. I wish I learned that earlier. It would have helped me out quite a bit in life. Not to mention in League of Legends. Here we are getting the first few bans blown through here. We got Kai'Sa, Garen banned yet again, as well as the Anivia knocked out, this time in the first set by ISU Emerald. Meanwhile, Cloud Team going to take out the Camille that Bleeding Feed was on, as well as Akshan and Trundle. And that in turn will cascade into an early pickup of probably a Hecarim for ISU Emerald.
Yeah, we're not horsing around with the picks on Emerald's side right now. Like, first picking Hecarim's pretty nice. This does give Cloud Team a chance to go Jinx again if they want to. I don't think Jinx was the issue there. I actually like the Jinx pick a lot. Like I said,
I do too, yeah.
Though, Zeri is open. I would love to see Zeri for the first time in Plat, because I don't think I've gotten to cast a game with them yet.
Yeah, I think like Zeri has fallen off a little bit, at least in terms of notoriety and therefore pick rate here in the Blue Otter League since the nerfs came through in 12.5, but it is still definitely a really viable champion to grab here, especially into something like the Hecarim. But in fact, we will see Cloud Team meeting the Hecarim with a Volibear, although that could also be flex topside for a small broski.
Yeah, and looks like we're having the Sport get picked out too. Karma being hovered on the side of Cloud Team. Or, well, no, locked in. There you go. There's Zeri.
There's the hover, at the very least. Hopefully that will be confirmed for you, Feedonomics. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Zoom, zoom. We're a Kia commercial now.
This stream is not officially sponsored by Kia, but get at us. We would love.
That being said, yeah,
Kia,
if you guys want to sponsor me, let me know. I'd appreciate it.
I really need a car, please, for the love of God.
Never saying no to a free Kia.
All right, and that's going to be another Sona grab for Maximum. We're really happy with how this bot lane is turning out for ISU Emerald. A good reprisal of roles and some brand new exciting faces being brought to the table here, as it will be a Karma Ashe lane for Cloud Team to answer it.
And that is a really pokey lane. So I guess it's kind of a push, right? Because Sona doesn't so much care about poke. Sona cares about all in. So we'll see what happens. Though once Ashe and Karma hit level 6, I think you have to start worrying if you're on the side of Emerald. Zeri's greatest weakness is a lot of people's greatest weakness, which is death, which is the greatest CC.
Unless you're like Scion or Tryndamere, I would agree.
Well, I mean, like, you could still be CC'd in Scion passive, and you're not having any fun either.
Sure, I guess that's true, but...
So hear me out, Narco. Greatest CC is death.
Okay.
And then other little tiny CCs leading up to death is also bad. So, like, an Ashe Arrow will not be fun.
That is true. We probably will see a cleanse out of one of the two bot laners this time through.
Yeah, I would think that cleanse comes out onto the side of Zeri, depending, like, let's see if there's one more stun on the side of Cloud Team, and then if I was Zeri, I'd be like, no, I'm going to take cleanse. I already have a heal on the side of Sona. She's probably going to get the moonstone.
Yeah, that's true. And we saw Maximum on Sona actually go for the heal last game, so I think you're perfectly fine with putting a more selfish utility style spell, such as the cleanse, on it to Soprich's Zeri here, and totally be fine to sustain yourself through that lane. You aren't looking for kill pressure, especially against the Karma anyways. Dr. Mundo grabbed up here by Cloud Team in the second round of picks. And it looks like that'll be answered by a zillion. Woo, you are going full supportive here, ISU, and I applaud that effort. Zerzal gonna be going on the Time Wizard.
I'm for it. Like you were saying, I enjoy going fast. Zeri gets to go fast if they get buffed by Zillion.
Yeah, so does Hecarim. That they also get to go absurdly fast, disgustingly fast, way too fast.
It's too fast. It is absolutely too fast. Actually, I'm gonna look over at my predictions really quick. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, and we get the Jax locked in to round out ISU's team comp. A really solid direction here for sure. Solid pick potential, great engages as well with Hecarim and Zeri. Meanwhile, looks like Cloud Team's trying to find an answer to this composition, and they're looking at the Silas hover here to go into the Zillion. Obviously, stealing that ultimate is just so great to see, and Bungie will, in fact, be riding that champion all the way to the bank.
I'm torn now. I like Zeri a lot, but I also have like the most mastery points on Silas at the moment. So that just proves to show how much of a degenerate I am at this game. But that's not the point. Give Silas his shield back.
Feedonomics, this is a judgment-free zone. I don't care if you're the kind of bot of feeding trash that is willing to play Silas. It is totally fine. We accept you as you come here in the Blue Otter League.
I really feel like I was just dragged there for my enjoyment of Silas.
Was it me calling you bottom feeding trash? Was that it?
Yeah, actually it was. We're gonna overlook that though. Okay. I'm okay. I'm okay with all that. What I do want to know, and I don't know if I've got anybody that's actually available to do so. Like if there are any mods in chat, like we'll type the Twitch chat. Can we get predictions for points? If I don't get that to go through, just anybody in chat, go ahead and sound off on who you think is gonna win this match. I'm like completely torn. There's a bunch of picks that I like on both sides right now, and we didn't even really talk about ISU's top lane pick, Bleeding Feed, going with Jax.
Yeah, I think it's a really solid choice into the composition that we see before us here with Cloud Team, because you have a lot of people that have the ability to kind of run forward and act as a front line, and Jax has a great single target lockdown potential while also kind of remaining resistant enough, especially when combined with a Hecarim, to continually drop out the damage, even in the face of some of these more bursty oriented picks like the Karma, the Silas, or even the Ashe, depending on whether or not they have Arrow up here. At the same time though, that's a big meat wall to get through on the side of Cloud Team. Volibear plus Dr. Mundo means that will be a very well protected carry, and Silas has a lot of healing in their own right here.
Yeah, I mean Kingslayer's gonna slay some people. That's basically what I got to say. I'm really curious to see how we build out the Silas this match. What skill ordering we go. It's always, I mean, like maxing W is always fun. You do heal, you do get big number heals, but there is kind of an appeal to maxing Q or maybe even E a little bit first. The damage on E really does ramp up pretty well. Depending, but so does Q. People kind of underestimate the amount of like that pop that Silas Q has when it blows up underneath of someone.
Yep.
And Zillion is pretty squishy, so it's not gonna feel good.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Silas was a really solid pick, especially in the isolated 1v1. Zillion doesn't have a ton of kill pressure, is going to be really afraid of engages, and before level 6 especially, you can easily get bursted out if you miss position. So that's going to be something that Zerzal is really going to have to be prudent about navigating here.
Also, I just really realized on how beefy Cloud Team is this game.
Oh yeah.
Like that's a beefy front line. You have Karma being able to heal and kind of keep everybody alive. In this one, and it does not seem the same way on the side of Emerald over here. ISU looking kind of squishy.
Definitely, and it's going to be tough, especially early on, for ISU to get the damage in against these kinds of champions. Remember, Hecarim, especially in the current meta, has been building Turbo Chem Tank as their first item, and while they do begin to pick up a little bit of damage later, the fact that you have to go for that pure tank mythic kind of means that while you have great approach options, it'll be tough to finish the job. Zeri is going to have a lot of weight on their shoulders here in order to try to get kills snowballed on their side so that they can at least cleanly go for objectives and the like.
Yeah, just I'm sort of looking at it out. I'm still gonna go back on harping on Silas because, like, you know, I'm a huge Silas stan. You have more than one good ultimate to steal. You will always have a good ultimate in every team fight, and I'm not sure on how well Zeri's ult scales with Sylas, or the interactions on if he gets faster and sort of gets the auto attack bonus that Zeri gets. But if the movement speed and everything stays up too, that's got to be terrifying on Sylas as well. Because like you could be drifting if you're Hecarim or Zeri, but if you have a Sylas that's running next to you, that also does more damage than you with that ultimate, like that's not going to be fun to deal with.
Oh, 100%. It's going to be incredibly tough, and plus, this isn't even to mention the fact that a Zillion ultimate is on the table to be stolen.
Oh, I'm not
right person.
I'm not worried about the revive. Like I'm worried about the Hecarim engage, and I'm worried about the Zeri burst, maybe even the Sona like CC. Like all these ults are actually very good. Jax is a fun ultimate for Sylas because you get the hit passive. So you don't even have to use it right away, and it is a big steroid for shields.
Oh yeah.
So I'm happy with this Sylas ult. Like he can't go wrong. And then you do have the Sylas or the Sylas into Zillion ultimate, which is like you were saying, it's phenomenal just to be able to go, you're not dying right now. I don't care what the other team says.
Yeah, I definitely get that. Bungie gonna have a lot of autonomy in this game to just kind of approach fights as they so desire here, and it's really going to be quite the burden for ISU Emerald to overcome it. I think that don't get me wrong here. I think that ISU Emerald has a solid shot at winning the game, and they drafted what is overall a really fun and synergetic composition, but also Feednomics, I think he would probably agree with me when I say that Cloud Team has really drafted a great counter to the win conditions that ISU Emerald is presenting here.
Yeah, that I definitely agree with. I will have to see what happens on the side of Cloud Team this time. I suppose the top might be around the same. Jax is not gonna have as fun like into Mundo at first. And the fact that Counter-Strike or Counter Helix doesn't do anything to Mundo like when you stun, unless he's already been stunned a moment ago. Is gonna help out a lot in that top lane. It's just, is the ignite that Jax is most likely going to take be enough to whittle the Mundo down? I suppose double so after you have Jax with his sheen or his little bits and pieces of most likely going to be Trinity Force, right?
Into this team, I would imagine. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could go Divine Sunderer as well. Like there's I guess an argument for going Sunderer with Volibear and Mundo both on the table. But I think the champ just wants to beat people down.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I think Mundo is just going to have a really great time of farming up this top lane. And honestly, it's a champion that does a surprising amount of damage if Bleeding Feet is not cognizant of getting hit by a bunch of cleavers and whatnot. You can actually see kill pressure get set up here, especially with the Volt jungle post level 6. You just kind of ult the tower and you have a lot of time to go through and ensure that the Jax falls down here. So a lot of things to consider, a lot to watch out for. Cloud Team looking to bring this one back, bring it to a game 3 here in this series against ISU Emerald, who grabbed game 1 in a pretty shocking fashion here. We'll see if they'll be able to repeat their success here as we move into game 2. We're going to throw it to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Blue Otter League. We are here in game number 2 between ISU Emerald and Cloud Team. Got a side swap this time around. ISU Emerald will be starting blue this time around, and not important, gonna walk right forward there and get some vision of the horsey.
Yeah, definitely. Also, did you ever kind of wonder that Volibear kind of looks like a turtle?
It never necessarily crossed my mind, but I think that maybe our cultural understandings of turtle are just different enough to where my general image of that animal is separate from yours, Feedonomics.
No, look at his back.
Guess
He's
so.
got like a Ninja Turtle shell going on. Okay, that being said,
It's just
we
a
have the
jacket.
deep word. It's not. It's not. It's just a jacket.
Okay, there's a big lump of armor there. I'm seeing what you're putting down now a little bit more coherently.
I want a Ninja Turtle skin for Volibear now.
I think that's several levels removed from possibility, but it could definitely happen. You got Super Ninja Ramus or whatever.
Yeah, well, like, and Grungy Nunu, which will never happen again.
True. We are getting yet again a double bot side start from these teams. Big leashes coming forward from both sides. And as Maximum had pinged early, that is in fact an exhaust taken on Inha, who will probably be looking to just slow down Soprich on the Zeri quite a bit here. Double cleanses as well, bot side, important to note.
Yeah, I did notice both the cleanses coming out for the bot side. I will say that I think the advantage still goes over to Maximum and Sporich, though, because of the innate ability to heal better than Karma.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Inha was taken's going to have to be a little bit judicious about how they place their skill shots here in order to maximize their damage up against Maximum and Soprich. That being said, Sona starts off with the second lowest base health in the game, I believe, behind Yumi. So this definitely is a situation to try to push your advantage. And that is a direct Mantra Q shot to the face. Maximum getting quite the bad trade taken right there.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, in the top lane, it doesn't look like it's much of an issue right now, but Bleeding Feet did not start laning as soon as Small Broski did, therefore he gave up that level 2 advantage. So he is down a level right now.
And he also just won't be as durable. He doesn't have Grasp of the Undying as his primary rune here, and that means that he's easily going to get pressured back towards tower. The Conqueror not really going to come into play just quite yet. Hecarim getting a little bit chased off of their blue buff here by the Volibear and Dr. Mundo, but Jax is going to rotate across from the top side. See if any drama occurs. Jax really going to go for the pincer here. I think we will, in fact, get a fight going here. There's the jump in, there's the helicopter spinning around, and already not important going to be taken out, and Small Broski in quite a bit of trouble here. That Mundo not tanky enough early on, and that will be 2 picked up for the side of ISU Emerald.
Ow, look at bot lane as well.
That's quite the trade.
Yeah, I mean, so it's probably going to have to be up to the bot lane to make everything work here. no summoners like attempted to be used at all in that little skirmish. I guess you did have Red Butter use their ghost, but I don't know. Oh no, I wanted it. I wanted it
Yo,
so bad.
I love the fact that we are biased not for
Oh,
teams
no.
but for individual champions here. Speaking of which, Fried Butter gonna run right in onto Bungie here, but will
There it is.
not important right there in that bush, and that will be a
Good
1-for-1
trade.
so far. Fried Butter gonna be able to run back towards tower in time. Not important. Not gonna go for the dive right there. And honestly, given the fact that both of the junglers were in the area, they may have been the best that you could have hoped for Cloud Team.
Oh no, if you're Cloud Team, you're very happy for trading 1-to-1 there. Silas was dead to rights completely, but you know, the fact that you had Zerzal like stepping over his boundaries, he caught those chains and ended up mage slaying. Oh, speaking
Not
of ending up
important, getting
mage
jumped
slaying,
on with that flash from the Vola Bear, and Bungie will get that kill into Zerzal. This Zillion is being denied quite a bit of experience mid lane as he just kind of keeps getting killed as he roams back. Bleeding Feed receiving a huge wave under tower right now. Small Broski really getting a ton of advantage up there. And bot side, the story's not that much different. Cloud Team just has the stronger earlier game comp, and Maximum is really lagging in terms of their mana, which means that it's just going to be difficult to sustain up Soprich as well as himself on that Sona.
yeah, and you know, Zillion generally doesn't mind experience, right? Normally dishes it out to the rest of his team, but it's definitely not helpful when you're the one that's down in it. You can't cast your passive on yourself.
It's also a little bit difficult just because by virtue of how Zillion Q works, you're always going to be pushing the wave back out, and it's very difficult to operate outside of your own tower, especially when Not Important has very clearly made it so that they will continue to walk mid to try to get this champion out of the running.
But at least you look snazzy.
Of course you do. Groovy, man.
Heck yeah, buddy. Oh no.
Zerzal gonna have to run it back towards tower.
Oh no, it's Zerzal.
Pins him from the other side, and that will be ultimate dropped already in a defensive posture. Will he be able to get out of this one? The turret shots are coming down, and the stun under tower means that he'll actually pick up one of his own. That is some solid, judicious play, yeah. And now the Horsey's gonna come down, maybe try to pick up yet another one. Bungie does, in fact, have that Zillion ultimate, though. Looks like Fried Butter's just not having the damage. There is a Zillion bomb coming through, and there is the ultimate dropped. Silas will, in fact, resurrect here, and we have the Horsey hovering right on top, but Bungie's gonna run for Zillion. Question is now, will Hecarim, 2 levels down, be able to grab a kill back? It doesn't look like he will. He's gonna drop that E to run right under that tower.
Silas is getting there. This is very scary. I would not want to be on the side of ISU Emerald and ever bump into Silas in a dark alley at the moment, is all that I'm saying.
Yeah, Silas really is a champion that once you get a few kills on him can just kind of heal through anything and come back swinging. And now that he has that Zillion ultimate to keep playing around with as both of these champions crest past level 6 or level 7, things are going to look action-packed for that mid lane, and I'm expecting a lot of really drawn-out fights.
Yeah, and like, you know, the W max is what's happening here, which is, like I said, was expected. But we'll see what we skill second. I mean, I guess I would probably skill Q second.
Yeah.
We didn't even play the Guess the First Blood, the interactive game.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sure that we can go tally up the points after this, though, and get started right back up next week here in the Blue Otter League. Remember, we have action-packed games all the time coming through for all of our devoted followers. Maximum and Soprich just doing what they can here. They just need to scale up, and they will be able to take out Inha was taken on that Karma, who will have to eventually start building Enchanter as well, and just will not be necessarily as effective as the Sona late game. But for the time being, we are seeing quite a bit of damage being denied, and we're getting the hovering of Not Important on this side of the map just in case Maximum Soprich really do try anything funny. That being said, CS is not necessarily going super in favor of Lian at this time. It's less than a 10 CS difference right now, and honestly, when you're this pushed in, that's definitely what you want to see. That being said, the priority will translate over into Cloud Team trying to grab this first Drake.
And I mean, it's going to be an easy first Drake to grab. But it does look like they're going to trade the Rift Herald for it. Though, I'm okay with Ashe. I'm okay with trading that for Ashe, Silas getting Red Dragon, right? Like, that's a considerable bump of damage for both champions, I would argue.
And I would definitely agree. I think that it is nice for ISU Emerald to grab a Rift Herald, though. A lot of their teams are going to struggle with getting things pushed out and getting tower plates over onto their side. And how mistaken, going to run forward right there and get a little bit of damage back down onto maximum. But with that tier in hand, they're going to be able to start spamming their abilities a bit more. But as I was saying right there, Feedonomics, I think that the value of getting an early Rift Herald, if you're playing weak side, is that one kill can kind of translate over into a bunch of plates taken. That being said, Bleeding Feed in quite a bit of trouble here. He tried to jump forward, but not important, was in the area now. And the Jax is getting quite a bit of damage down onto Small Broski, who via Ignite will eventually fall here. And now we got a big rotation up into this.
Oh no!
The really coming through. Fried Butter is going to go on a killing spree, taking down Not Important here. And Bungie is out for blood, is finally going to get Zerzal taken out, and he will dash over that wall. But the score is still going to rest. Finally, 6-4 for the side of ISU Emerald.
Yeah, and really, really good plays on the side of Bleeding Feed there to avoid getting murdered by, I mean, whatever the other team threw at him initially, right? That blast plant to keep himself alive away from Not Important was just really well done.
Yeah, and great rotation as well from ISU Emerald to turn that fight into something a lot more advantageous for themselves. Getting Bungie another kill is pretty scary here. That is a 4-1 Silas now sitting on the lost chapter. But at the end of the day, as long as you're able to kind of keep them zoned away from the fight, not much gold is going over to these other champions for Cloud Team.
Just once again, Small Broski just walking past Jax with no idea that he's there.
Yeah, Jax was backing this time, and I kind of like this choice. You're just getting so much advantage with these waves top side of the map, especially given the fact that Bleeding Feet does not have teleport.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. Though he doesn't have Ignite right now either. He did use it last fight. What do we got for itemization on the side of both of them? I mean, okay, yeah, you've already got your Divine Dissunderer done on Jax. That's kind of the way that I thought that he was going to build. Right after realizing that maybe Trinity Force wasn't the way. There are a couple of tanky people on the side of Cloud Team, so it makes sense in my head.
And how was Ford going to run forward here and drop a Mantra Q down onto Soprich, but once again, Sona heals are really starting to come through now. You're able to spam that a little bit more with the tier, as we said before, and ultimates are available from either side. Volibear going to rotate down into the area. This looks like a collapse as we see Bungie along with them, and Sona too far away will be the first one taken out, and that will be Volibear ultimate used on the tower to grab a second kill bot side. Great rotation over and incredible pressure demonstrated by the side of Cloud Team. Fried Butter trying to get something done top, as Bleeding Feed will crash this wave under tower.
Yeah, there goes the Rift Herald like I thought was going to happen there. Though without, I don't know, man. See what you can do. Don't let your dreams just be dreams.
Yeah, Mundo does not have ultimate anymore. We just saw that getting burned here, which means that it's going to be a little bit difficult for him to defend this tower. Bleeding Feed getting the stun off, but a tower shot will equalize that trade up. Small Broski currently a level lead on to this Jax right now.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's just been the game as it stands right now, right? Like, starting from the beginning with that slow walk into mid lane. Or slow walk into top lane, I apologize. So, it's just a consistent level down.
Yeah, we're about 40 seconds before Dragon number 2 will spawn onto the Rift here. This is something that I think ISU Emerald kind of wants to equalize right now. They are relatively strong given the fact that they managed to pick up some surprising kills early on here. And so I think that they want to mount a little bit of resistance to prevent any kind of stacking from occurring, as they kind of experienced last game, as we see Bungie getting collapsed on by Fried Butter with that E. He's taking quite a bit of damage here. Maximum also going to flash forward here. We see the Zillion stolen ultimate coming through, and now the fight is going to be about even. Maximum dropping an ultimate of their own, and there comes a revive down onto Hecarim. These are just really extended trades with both of those champions up and involved. Sophrich trying to go forward, and that will be Leon getting run down by the Horsey as Onslaught of Shadow comes out. It looks like Sophrich will grab that kill, making it a 1-for-0 trade, and quite a bit of priority given for the side of ISU Emerald as they will start up this dragon.
Yeah, that was the fight that you wanted, right? Like, and that's the controlling of the Drake and everything. So yeah, it played exactly how you were expecting. Both mid lane, like, I suppose these fights are getting so like long and whatnot because of the fact that Zillion ult keeps getting used 2 times.
And we haven't even seen Mundo rotate over for a fight. Once that happens and you're starting to see Bungie not only ult himself, but ult other members of the team that are a bit more tanky, these fights are going to go on for minutes. I got to get my vocal cords ready, Feedonomics.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to do it. You're going to have to, like, just give me a tap on the shoulder when you want me to tag in.
Yeah, just go knock off, finish your tacos. You know how it is.
No, they're done.
Oh, I see.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Oh, there's a pause. Oh, no.
There is a pause. As Silas says in chat, the jungle has disconnected. Repeat, the jungle has disconnected. But I'm sure we're going to get that sorted out right here in quick. All right, because we couldn't play Who Gets First Blood, here's a better question for you, Feedonomics. Who's going to get the next kill in this game?
Who's gonna get the next kill?
Oh yeah.
Let me consult my Oracle's lens over here. That was a League of Legends joke.
I love my red trinket.
I think it's great. Man, Bungie really is big.
You're really gonna say this, Silas, huh?
I mean, okay, so if there was a Talia support in the game, and you saw them like ahead by a mile, right? And then somebody was like, blah 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 blah, support-based question, blah blah blah. Would you not answer Talia support?
It's 14 minutes into the game. The Talia support's already fallen off. They've done their job. Game's over. They just go for Everfrost and hope to CC. That's why the champion's not really great in the role. But no, I get what you're saying here. I guess I have to give it over to you. Bungie also really, by statistics, probably the most likely here to grab on to that next kill here. They have that Everfrost completed. They got those boots, and they're well on their way towards the second item as well. We see the game finally resume. Oh yeah, baby. Bleeding Feet gonna continue this push into Small Broski. The trade's going basically even topside of the map. Let's see if the call comes through here as we see Bungie gonna take it back, actually, just going for a nice solid little buy here.
There's a chance that, like, well, maybe it's not gonna go to Bleeding Feet now, but oh, my game just froze up.
Yeah, this is kind of what happens with the spectator client. Just let me know when you're back into the action. And
right,
there we go. Everything has resumed. Bleeding Feet trying to get the fight down onto Small Broski, but there's a flash coming forward, and he will ward hop away from this one as Zerzal's going to come up into the area and drop the ultimate. Maybe a little bit too early on Bleeding Feet. He's going to rush forward and basically yell, kill me to the enemy team. But that will, in fact, be the Chrono Shift used up for nothing here. Topside turret is secured, though, and that is the first one going over to ISU Emerald.
What are you doing? What are you doing over there, not important? It's the wrong side of the map.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Yeah, that's definitely something worrisome. Not important. Gonna have to flash away from that one as Ash Arrow comes down. Enchanted Crystal going to land onto the Zillion, who's just gonna kind of, sit around with a nice group of friends there in their own jungle.
Sometimes you can say positioning is not that important, but right then and there it was. You don't need to be there, buddy.
That being said, he gets out, and in turn, that priority that we see Cloud Team grab will lead to them starting up this Rift Herald, and we see in turn Silas grabbing that ultimate away from Fried Butter 101 on the Hecarim. That's definitely something you want when you're trying to defend a objective like this. It will go over, but Zeri will grab a second turret over for ISU Emerald on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, and right now everybody, like, they're too clumped together for Onslaught. Shadows to really do anything. I'm sorry, hold on. Call it Onslaught of Shadows. Right now it's Onslaught of Silas. I'll figure out how to make all these ultimates into puns.
To say that?
Yeah, do you blame me?
Not really, but I don't think I'd be making that many Talia-related puns, even if we did see a Talia support stun coming through. And was taken out by Zerzal here. Great grouping and rotation from ISU Emerald. They're going to grab this Scuttle Crab bot side and maybe look for something more.
That last ward will be your last. I suppose it didn't work out as well as they wanted to as far as clearing. But yeah, there you go. I was wrong. I lost my minigame. Another arrow.
Another arrow, this time landing on to bleed and feed here, and then unstoppable jump over that wall from the Silas means that the fear of God is put into this Jax as he's gonna book it towards the waiting of the Zerzal yet again. He ulted the wrong person!
Yeah, that's Zerzal. That's Zerzal giving Bungie back that kill. Whenever
gosh.
he didn't ult not important when he had the ult right off the rip when they tower dove.
Can you imagine the things said in chat right now if you were in solo queue and something like that happened? That's disastrous as a kill will be picked up by Cloud Team here. Bungie getting slowed mid lane. Zerzal gonna get into trouble here as he will be Everfrosted under tower, but he's gonna drop an Everfrost of his own, and Fried Butter is now in the vicinity. He will jump right onto the Silas, and that is no ultimate in hand for the Kingslayer. The shutdown coming through. Zerzal proving his worth even after that kind of shaky play we saw earlier. In was taken, also getting stunned with Sona ultimate. Gonna have to try to use that E to run back under tower, but a few more grenades in the area means Zerzal is gonna continue to get that poke down. Meanwhile, not important, meeting up with Fried Butter topside. It's a bear versus a horse in this race. Who's gonna win? A big purple man's gonna walk into this one as well and force Fried Butter to back off.
It looks like on the side of Emerald right now.
Once again, this is being used on cooldown as we see Onslaught of Shadows used to get out of Karma W, but Sofrich running forward and Pikachu is gonna grab the kill into Inho. What's taken now? Lien without ultimate. We see the teleport that may be a little bit too deep. Bungie gonna jump in and try to get something down here. That will be Fried Butter with the Zillion ult on him, and he will be taken out, but it will be as soon as Zillion ult expires. That is a dead Hecarim, and Bungie is going to arise from the grave and jump onto Sofrich. What an incredible turn right now, but we have so many people low on the side of... But it does not matter. Zerzal, the last one left. Jax just getting a solid split topside, watching the whole team die from afar. This will be him running back under tower, and I don't think Mundo has the damage to dive here.
No, definitely doesn't have the ability to dive in that one. Though I would watch out if I was Inna. Like, yeah, well, maybe not now. They got friends.
Yeah, we will see Bleeding Feet jump back into the fray, maybe trying to get something done against this enemy support, but not important in the area. It's just going to help zone away this Jax.
Yeah, that was a wild, like, chain of events. But you gotta watch out if you're the side of Cloud trying to get this Drake. It looks like you just gave him a really good leash.
Yeah, Fried Butter is gonna hit Shift Enter.
That arrow came flying by again.
Yeah, Lien, meanwhile, still continuing to Enchanted Crystal Arrow on repeat. And honestly, I'm not too torn up about it. You have such great engage and approach options from the side of Cloud Team that you're really able to kind of make these plays work out here. That being said, Hextech drag over to Fried Butter and company is something to watch out for. That synergizes really well with Zeri, and we see that Zeri really begins to power up now as they will grab another turret here in the mid lane. The score is currently 4-1 in that respect, at least 11-10 in the more, arguably important respect.
The traditional scoring range.
The Unga Bunga respect. Everfrost coming out, and I think the Zillion's in a little bit of trouble. He's going to try to W his way away, but a stolen Hecarim ultimate will force Zillion to return. Inha being forced out of the fray, though, with the E from Fried Butter, and that will be a kill onto the Karma traded back, and now Bungie's going to have to go golden here. Onslaught of Shadows from Hecarim not really working out that time around due to the Hourglass, but it's still a double kill picked up as come on and slam. Not important, going to continue this fight in turn. Small Broski in the area as well. The Volibear is low, but also so is Maximum as they will be taken out. And now Fried Butter and Soper's going to try to run for the hills here. That is an angry Mundo with their shirt off running at the Zeri. Fried Butter waiting over the far wall, but Mundo is just healed up so much, is not really going to be in any danger here of a re-engage.
And you have Bleeding Feed just like unceremoniously pushing.
Yeah, Bleeding Feet has been doing a whole lot on the splits here. It's basically taking 2 champions to come through in order to stop this now. And he's only going to get it stronger as time goes on. So you definitely have a solid win condition churning and burning for ISU Emerald here. Not to mention the prowess in fights. We are really seeing them bring through a lot of hurt in these, but Small Broski's going to only get bigger and become a big broski very soon now. And Bungie, as we've seen before, can put out the damage, but just kind of needs to group with the team, I feel. What do you think, Feedonomics?
Yeah. Like, we're saying you want Bleeding Feed to group, or we want
Bungie to group? I think Bleeding Feed
absolutely.
is doing
I want my 9-kill carry to group. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I want him to try and kill the side push.
Look at
the arrow!
And again, Bleeding Feed gonna have to try to run back towards tower. There's a flash forward, but Bungie's not gonna be able to land the W. Jack's gonna jump forward yet again, get Everfrosted for their efforts. There's the Ignite coming down, and that will be a stun coming through, but Bungie's gonna trade the damage right back. Fried Butter now in the area, and somehow Bleeding Feed's gonna be able to pick up one, and now Small Broski's the one that's in a little bit of trouble here as we see the entirety of ISU Emerald move down here to the bot side of the map. It doesn't matter how big you are, with this many people on you, Small Broski will in fact be forced away from the rest of the team. Karma shadowing in the jungle, but this Mundo about to go out of that ultimate and will barely make it under tower. Zillion ultimate coming down to help protect the Hecarim from a tower shot now, and this is quite the siege, quite deep into
that's a
territory.
good flash by Lean.
Such a huge pin down of the enemy team, but Not Important is going to drop an ultimate of their own and run forward as a front line. Ash being able to do quite a bit there on the backside.
We have 10 seconds.
Now, things are just getting pretty passive. Zerzal going to get the slow down onto Not Important, but that beef tank alongside the Mundo just going to be really hard to contend.
There it is!
Soper's going to jump over the wall. There's the arrow coming down. It's going to hit onto Hecarim, who's in a little bit of trouble. That's a Q. He will be able to outrun Karma's W in turn now, but Not Important wants to re-engage once more. Zerzal going to get knocked up, and that is going to be Sona ulti, catching out Maximum as well, who's going to have to stay a little bit far forward. That'll be a double kill picked up by the Ashe as we see the siege begin under tower here.
Was that a 3-man ultimate from Bungie? Like that's what it looked like to me. Oh, and okay, Hecarim ulted out.
Hecarim, yeah, just gonna have to ult.
I was gonna say, if there's no Onslaught of Shadows right there, that's a dead horse. Not to beat a dead horse.
Not to beat a dead horse. I knew it was coming. Gosh darn it, Feedonomics.
You're learning.
I knew. I just try to like delete it from my head every time.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Oh, man.
Just like upset. It's the best. Those are the best kind of puns.
Where do you think this game stands currently? Just to break you away from the pun talk for a second here, because a lot of turrets over to ISU Emerald, but that fight really not going in their favor.
I mean, I can make a dad joke right now.
Sure, go for it.
14-15. You're welcome. I won't apologize.
Our color caster, everyone.
I won't apologize for art.
All right, Bleeding
All right, here we go, though.
Against Small Broski. This is the fight right under the dragon that you are looking for. Fried Butter trying to go forward and get the engage started, but not without Onslaught of Shadows. He won't. He's waiting for that to come back up. It's just going to be a few more seconds, but the Hextech Drake is started by Cloud Team here. The sustain from Sona is really helping to keep them in this one, even with the priority we see initially established. And there we see the Onslaught of Shadows finally coming through, hitting so many members of the enemy team, and we will see the slam dunk from Noah. But a shutdown going to be grabbed. That will be a Sona getting ulted by Zillion to try to keep them alive right now, and that is currently going to keep the equation in favor of ISU Emerald, as they will pick up the dragon here and force out the rest of Cloud Team.
Yeah, just probably not the best time to try and take that Drake. You needed to fall back and just commit to the fight. or commit to the disengage, right? Like committing to the dragon wasn't going to be enough. You didn't have Ashe hitting it, so you're not getting your damage out onto it. Because I mean, lean does a lot of damage right now. That arrow also probably hit. There was so much action going on. I missed when they fired it. I just knew that it was up for that fight.
Mm-hmm. I definitely get what you're saying here, and that was a really solid pickup, though. It's going to put this game on a little bit of a timer in favor of ISU Emerald, and they do have a really solid scaling composition here. Soprich is only becoming more and more of a threat. Fried Butter also just hitting these really solid engages. We see that Force of Nature built alongside the Manamune and the Chem Tank as well, and that's just going to allow for him to approach, run in, take up a bunch of damage, and return it in kind, honestly.
Yeah, and for some reason you've got Bungie splitting. I don't know if I like that. I don't want my super fed carry to split, even if it is to grab a quick turret. Like there's no objective off. Like I suppose yeah, it's cool, it's gold, but it's not a bounty. And like if your team gets caught here and loses, like that's an easy parry. Oh my goodness.
They do have the teleport up, bleeding feed really far forward, getting a ton of damage on it to not important, that's for sure. So with the teleport in hand, I don't think it's necessarily the worst split in the world coming through for Bungie, but I definitely agree that you kind of need to be here. You're a really solid source of engage besides Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and with that in mind, yeah, that is ISU Emerald starting up the Baron in turn. Silas gonna try to back here.
Though we'll see if this is the same sort of issue as like the Dragon was a second ago for Cloud. But
yeah, that Shred probably pretty problematic. We see the E in from Fried Butter, and then Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to go down onto Bleed and Feed, but so many people are going low on either side now. Fried Butter going to get ulted by the Zillion, but that will be a shutdown taken by Ashe, who's waiting for the very last second. Yeah. But Bleed and Feed, the damage coming through, the helicopter is in full effect, and Jax is going to take down one. He's going to look for a second here, and even with that turret hitting him the whole while, he's going to continue to try to go for the engage, but finally, looks like Bungie's coming through and doing damage in his own right. A double kill for the Silas, as Zerzal's going to have to just wait on the edge of the field right now.
Yeah, and that... I really think that Silas's dash into an immediate W looks like a really funny interaction. Because you just sort of like snake your way around, right? Did he teleport for that? Or yeah, he TP'd up. I'm kind of impressed, actually, at Leon's ability to kite this game. Also really good discipline on not killing the Hecarim in Zillion ult. Waited long enough for the ult to wear off before committing the like lethal blow.
Yeah, this is the second time we've seen Leon do that. They really are very conscientious of that Zillion ult, and in turn, that means that Fried Butter is just not really as much of a threat in situations like that, where you get enough distance between those two champions for the speed to not really matter. You're in that kind of like weird middle ground where Hecarim can't fully engage in, but also at the same time, they can't really get away from the Ashe before the Zillion ultimate expires, and therefore they're just going to be taken out there. We're seeing the grouping mid yet again, yeah. There's a slowdown onto Leon, but that arrow is going to get the stun back down onto Zeri, who will drop an ultimate of their own. Onslaught of Shadows coming out as well, but Bungie's going to grab and go on a killing spree. Hecarim down as the main source of engage gone, but Zeri kiting out and doing a ton of damage in turn. Maximum in a little bit of trouble. He's going to continue to move backwards, but the shutdown going on to Bungie is huge right now. And now,
oh my goodness!
There's a triple kill. They're going to keep going for more. Small Broski's being chased down. Now Maximum is going to deny that penta, but that will be an ace coming through for the side of ISU Emerald. They have turned this one around for sure. Somehow this even game is not so even anymore, as we see so many champions just crest past their power spike, and now look at that, an ace and a huge push down mid.
Yeah, that was a really well played. Like, just you gotta have the hard CC for Zeri. If you don't have the hard CC for Zeri, that's what happens.
Yeah, we saw
The
that
game
Kaine come
ends.
through, and it's going to bring
Yeah.
them to a 2-0 victory here in the Blue Otter League over the favored team here. Cloud Team going to go down.
Yeah,
Really,
that was
really great
everybody's
play.
prediction pick.
Yeah.
So whoops, sorry, Emerald, didn't mean to disrespect you so hard.
Yeah.
Woo, woo. I don't know. Like watching that last fight was super exciting. Just skirting on the back line, like it doesn't matter if you're Silas that has 10 kills at that point. Like if you can't catch them,
Oh,
you're not
yeah.
going to be able to damage them, and that's exactly what it was right there, right?
Yeah,
Um,
Bungie put a whole lot onto the table there, 12-6 at the end of that game, but it just wasn't enough. Small Broski tanked, but didn't tank quite enough. Leon stunned people, but didn't get people stunned for quite long enough. Inhale was taken, shielded people, but didn't quite shield enough. That just kind of feels like the name of the game as we move into these later team fights for Cloud Team.
yeah, and I don't know, maybe too much going on to the side of Bungie as far as like the kills are concerned and everything like that. I definitely would have liked to have seen an aggressive support on Inha. Maybe a
Mhm.
Leona, maybe like an Alistar or a Nautilus. Something that can actually grab Zeri and go, "You're staying here. I don't care what you think. Like
Just grab her by the neck and
you're
just
not
could
going
you
to move
stop?
right now." Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just be like, "I choose you to not move." Um and that's really what it was. Though with taking cleanse, I don't know what you do there. Um like Soprik definitely with at least that last fight ended up being player of the game, if not player of the game the whole time through.
Yeah, definitely a
In my
little bit of
mind.
a sleeping shadow that really popped off right there, but they did a whole lot of damage throughout the whole thing. But I think I once again have to give it over Fried Butter just for consistently putting forth some incredible engages. They really defined the tempo of both round one and round two and brought ISU Emerald, at least in my opinion, to a really surprising victory here tonight. I'm deeply impressed by their play, and I really am going to keep a closer eye on them as we move deeper into the season.
Yeah, I like it was impressive. I think we have 2 weeks left in the regular season, if I recall correctly. So I can't wait to see what happened these last 2 weeks. I'm extremely excited to cast them with you, Narco, unless they change things up and I
And we'll be
cast it
separated
well.
yet again.
And we'll just be apart. But if that happens, we'll do our best. I'll just sit there and join your stream and talk trash and set up like some sort of bet about who can get more viewers during the game or something.
You
But
see, Feedonomics, that's my secret. I never read chat because I'm pretty sure doing so while also casting would crash my computer.
okay, I mean that's completely fair. And then like we will say hello to the members of Blue Otter League 2, speaking of the other Twitch stream, as they come over to raid us. You just missed a 2-0 victory from ISU beating Cloud Team. It was really exciting matches. I got to watch Silas almost pop off. I was proud. I was a proud dad.
They were the carry at the end of the day by far and away the most kills, the most damage as well, and the most gold. So Feedonomics, your calls were correct. That was a really strong Silas, but was it enough? Sadly, the zillion ultimates, the Zeri popping off, it's hard to contain, frankly.
Yeah, it's hard to like actually kill someone when you have to kill them twice.
To be fair, you
And
had to kill
there's
the
just
Silas
so
twice
much
quite a few
mobility.
times.
Yeah,
So I
okay,
get what you're
that's
saying,
fair.
but it
There was a
all
lot of
balances.
mobility involved. There was a lot of mobility involved on that team though.
Hmm.
And that is something that Silas is going to have a little bit of problems with inherently. Maybe maybe if he would have used the ultimate mid lane to save his jungler at one point in time, then the jungler would have come back to camp more. That's my side note, I guess. It's
True.
it's a
All right.
complete meme. But that being said, we really appreciate you guys tuning in to Blue Otter League. Sorry for the rating party that just joined. We don't have too much else to cast about. Final thoughts, Narco.
Final thoughts. It's continuing to be action-packed here. I'm really loving all of the teams right here in Blue Otter League. I think that they are really bringing their A game basically every single round, and we're getting great upsets. We're getting great plays and so many fantastic clippable moments for us to reflect back upon. I want to shout out you, obviously, Feedonomics, for being my lovely co-caster here tonight, and also big shout out to Laggy Sun here in the production booth, just making sure that everything comes to the audience nice and smooth like.
Yeah, I suppose my two shout outs, I'll have to go, well, okay, three shout outs. It'll be you, Twitch chat. You're the real reason that I'm here doing this right now. I love you guys. Shout outs to Laggy Sun being a great production team member, and then shout out to you, Narca, for putting up with my awful puns every time.
I don't know if I put up with it. I'm
happen.
pretty sure I flame you every time you do it.
I mean that's basically that's terms of endearment, right? So it's fine. It doesn't hurt my heart. I know that you love them as much as I do. You can keep playing. You can keep playing the way you do, but we all know. But like I said, guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. Make sure that you all tune into Gold League tomorrow night, and we'll see you next Tuesday for sure. Monday we also have some games as well if you want to catch those. So just keep tuning in, and we'll keep streaming.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shoot tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be